What's up, everybody? Zukondima here. I'm here without my sister, which is still a little bit weird, I always feel, because it's like, I usually like just lean on her so much. But having said that, anyways, welcome to another episode of Siblings Standing on Business. As I've already mentioned, Zukondima is the name. Tamzupela, Tamzuibiri, Tamzwaiko. You know what it is. And today I've got a very special lady with me here today. I really don't want to mess it up, so I'm going to let her introduce herself. Please introduce yourself, ma'am.
Okay. To those obviously who don't know me, the many that don't know me, my name is Amira. And I am, I am a mom, a wife, and an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Learning and growing entrepreneur. I just want to put that out there. I am now recently a voice actor and voiceover artist.
Okay.
As well as a content creator, which is also something that is fairly new. So, yes.
You're a lot.
Maybe.
Okay. And so one of the things that you can't...
Depends to whom. I'm a lot maybe to you, but
True.
Not to someone else, you know.
No,
so,
got you.
I don't know. I don't think about it in that aspect. I just think, I'm tapping into a few things that I feel I might be talented in, and I'm just exercising those creative muscles the best way I can, and I'll see where it takes me. But
100%.
most importantly, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So
that's great. So then does that mean that it's a mix of passion and necessity?
Yes.
Okay. So that means then you've probably managed to get to a space whereby you've figured out the whole elusive balance story, right? Because there's this balance story that always comes up in life, right? In life, you need to have a balance. How do you live a balanced life and all of these things?
Yeah. So my notion or my perception or notion of a balanced life doesn't really, it's probably not one that resonates with many people or might resonate with a number of people. I don't think that there is such a thing as balance, because you have days where you are genuinely on top of everything. You are able to manage your admin, your home life, your work life, your, whatever it is, your side hustles and that sort of thing. And there are days where I completely, I lose control. The day takes over me, and I let it, because I understand that that's just how I am as a person. And I think that's how we are as people. We may not always be receptive of it, and I am quite receptive of that. So I don't overthink the moments or days where I feel like, yo, this day is running with me. No, I'm just like, it's a bad day, but it's not a bad life.
Okay,
and
love
let
it.
End. And how do I come back stronger and better tomorrow? Because I still have to show up regardless.
Okay, cool, 100%. And I guess maybe what might help in that is also, you probably should have, all the things that you've mentioned, you probably should have a very structured life.
Yeah. So work in progress. Remember, we're people, we're growing, we're learning. So that means we are I'm a work in progress at everything that I'm doing, at every single thing, even at, like you're saying, having a structured life. Yes. I have obviously implemented and introduced things that I've not done before 2 years ago that I'm doing now to help me stay organized, to stay on top of things, to stay, to help me to communicate better and just to present myself better as Amira in these little elements of my life that I have to be active in.
Okay, cool. Perfect. 100%.
Business elements.
First and foremost. Or maybe not first and foremost, because of all the different titles that you have. I'm going to ask you, what's your favorite?
Hey, bruh. I'm not favorite.
It depends on what's going well.
Yes, it depends on what's going well. But I enjoy them all. So I just want to put that out there as a disclaimer. I don't want to focus too much on the negative things, but I also don't want to be too optimistic and make it seem like, oh my gosh, it's fantastical. No. I enjoy all of them.
Yeah.
But definitely, obviously, if motherhood is rocking me, I'm just like, what the hell did I get myself into? And why am I doing this? Also, I'm too young to be experiencing this.
Okay.
Why am I stressed? Why did I go into entrepreneurship again? Because what the is going on? Like, what? Like, why would I do this? So I literally, like I said, I go with the flow, man.
Yeah.
I roll with the punches, and there's nothing I can do because I've committed to something, and that's something I always remind myself is that you made this decision. You made the decision, girl. So you've got to show up.
Yeah.
It's tough, but you got to show up. Even if you're showing up 1% today, then tomorrow it just means you must be 101.
Okay.
And that's what I try to do. You know, I don't always get it right, but
Sure. And I don't think anyone does.
Yeah. But I'm particularly proud of myself because I make the effort and I'm very cognizant of it. And I'm also very cognizant and I can recognize to say, today I was a hot mess.
Okay.
Like what was going on? I'm trying to like, no. Put your socks up. Take control.
Yes. Okay. And then in that way, then you tend to find, I'm sure that the valleys and the kind
hills.
of the hills, they kind of, I've found that they kind of even themselves out.
They do.
If you take a moment to also then just zoom out of it all. Because very often I think when something is happening, it's happening, it feels like it's happening to you. It's not just happening because it's happening.
Hey!
Right?
Hey!
So that zooming out allows you the opportunity then to be like,
I'm like, divine energy.
yes, correct. So-
Why me again today? It was me last week.
Yes,
but who's next in line?
But then why not you? Because everyone has got something going on at a certain moment,
mina
right?
right?
Ne? Yeah, but I think in that there's Ukgo and then there's also coming back from Umgo.
100%. Rock bottom has a basement, darling.
There we go. I like that.
Rock bottom has a basement. So I remind myself that. Like, I'm like, it's fine. Kala. And I'm a crier again.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no, I'm a crier. I'm just like, hey, let it all out.
Okay.
So it helps. And then I come back to it and I'm like, Bukaila.
Correct.
You know?
But also it was
but
also opening that valve and
100%.
letting something
The
out.
outlet,
A
yeah.
little bit of pressure.
An outlet is very, very important. So,
Okay.
hey, man. Hey, Billions. Yo.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. But I like the fact that you really like seem to be trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned something now and in what you've just said, and you were like, and then I asked myself, yo, yinto bendiyisukele ngantoni lento entrepreneur.
Bengyaphi.
Right? So, okay, this is turning out to be an outlet as well. So that's something that I obviously now want to kind of move into slowly.
Okay.
Right? There's an entrepreneurial side, an entrepreneurship side. Why? You had so many options, right? As you said, you are a young mother, meaning that I'm assuming that you are young. So you could, what's that?
So many options. This is me raising my hand in class.
Yes!
For a turn to speak.
Yes, for employment, studying, getting a job, being a corporate hand, like all of these things that look so beautiful when we're looking at them. You know what I mean? So that makes me feel like there's opportunities, no? Are there no opportunities?
You know what? Interestingly enough, if I just, I don't want to go too far into why.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure it might be interesting for some to hear. But
Definitely. It'll be interesting for me to hear.
Okay. So one of the reasons, and one of the reasons I will reiterate this, because outside the fact that I do like the industry, the beauty industry, beauty and wellness industry, you know,
Okay.
I'm quite passionate about it in my own little ways,
Yeah.
little or big ways. But one of the reasons why I did start the business at the time that I did wasn't necessarily because I was 100% ready, but because I had been looking for full-time employment or looking for something because I have a career plan as well. I have
Okay.
a career goal and there are things that I want to achieve and there are things that I want to learn. And these things I feel a certain work setting might, give me that value. Or
Correct,
that,
enhance that.
Yeah. And I strugled for a very long time, for
Really?
over 4 years. Yes.
And you
would think-
degreed at the time?
Thank you. You would think, ukuthi, ufundile, not even just being funded.
Yes.
The fact that it's also not your first job, you have work
Yes.
experience,
Correct.
you're also applying for things that you actually qualify for.
Yeah.
But my guy, ask me when I got my first interview between the time of me being unemployed, forget when I was employed and I was unhappy and wanting to leave. We won't go there.
Let's not go there.
We won't go there because that comes with. You're in a depressing job and you're waiting for something better to present itself so that you can leave. But fine, I took the leap of faith and I was like, you know what? I'm leaving this. My mental health is screwed. And at the time, I was pregnant. I was like, I need to go. I need to enjoy this pregnancy. Peace out, A-Town. Zoom, 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 zoom.
Stopped applying, stopped doing anything, just focused on that.
Enjoying pregnancy. Manje, angifune employers look at me maternity leave. We am 17. No.
How do some of your bosses sound, man?
They're very excited when you announce.
Yeah.
And then cheeky, just as the baby comes out, suddenly it's a race now. Winning. Anyways, but so I didn't want that kind of pressure.
Yeah.
I also felt like I needed the break. I deserved the break, and I'm glad I took it. I have no regrets with how I've decided to do stuff.
Sure.
But I do wish I had done certain things differently. But my point is that I struggle. So I left full-time employment and a full-time salary at in 2022.
Yeah,
2022. So now it's 2025. I have been looking for work, and prior to that, so I've left, but I'm still looking because I wasn't happy where I was also. So not an interview, my guy, like, oh my gosh, 18 months, maybe one interview, and then another 2 years. And in the gap between from the moment I gave birth up until I had my first interview last year in October.
And that time you're running your business.
No, I'm running my business. I'm in the middle of running my business, but I'm on the journey. I'm still looking because I there are things that I need to. There are things that I still want to learn. There's still a plan that I have, and I'm working towards that. Right. Yeah. So the reason I started the business at the time that I did was because I felt like, I can sit forever and apply for a job, and this job will help me and provide me some additional income and tools to grow this business, one of the business ideas that I have.
Yes.
Or instead of sitting and being depressed, because it leads to depression. Guys, job hunting is a real thing. Like, it leads to depression because you start doubting yourself. You start asking yourself, like, how Mina Kanti, why am I not being called? Why, I'm qualified, or I think I'm qualified, and so on and so forth. And I understand that a lot of the time, some of the roles are just being advertised for the sake of, and so on and so forth. But in that moment, that's not what you're thinking. That's not at the back of your mind.
Absolutely, that's not.
You're just asking yourself, Wutsi, does it really take this long to find something? Because you know that you are at a certain level with your intellect and all of that stuff, and your expertise, or your knowledge, and it's disappointing. And then you go through a phase of depression. You even have to take breaks from applying for work because it just becomes depressing. Just sitting there on Indeed, LinkedIn, and all these other platforms. Oops, sorry.
No, what do you mean? That's where you look, right? Yeah.
And I'm just like, must be a hoax, this thing. How are people getting employed? There's no way, guys.
Cool. So then that
I
kind
thought,
of...
So that led me into instead of being depressed, let me work towards something, because I understand how my brain works, and how I know what was going to make me feel a little bit uplifted. And that's for me to, I'm a person who I want to be busy, and I want to be able to spend my time doing something that is mentally stimulating. Okay. I don't have to be good at it or great at it, but it fulfills me mentally and psychologically to know that I'm doing something.
Okay.
So in that moment, I was like, instead of being depressed, let me just start something. Let me start a business in the interim, and this I can still continue. Maybe this might help me to focus. And then I looked into things like, okay, do I have enough capital on my own? Would I need assistance? What can I make happen with the monies that I've saved over the years that I worked in my 20s?
Okay.
And that's literally where it was. And again, not because I was like 100% ready.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I don't think I was ever going to be 100%
correct.
Ready.
And I think it's just, it's something that, so it's something that you mentioned right now as we were about to start shooting. When the guys are asking, okay, cool, we're rolling, are you guys ready? And you're like, no, I'm not ready, but here we are. So, and I think that's really like a positive trait to have, to say that sometimes you won't be 100, a lot of the time.
I'm never ready.
I wasn't trying to think of a time where I'm just like, okay, you know what, I'm ready. And I don't recall a time where I've ever been ready for anything that has ever happened for me.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, readiness has become an attitude that you assume towards something.
Yes.
Readiness has become, okay, cool, we're doing it
Yes.
at that very moment.
Yes.
So,
Not because you're fully equipped.
yes, correct. Because how can you
'Cause
ever
what
be fully
is?
equipped for something that you've
You
never
never
really
expect.
done, right? So, love it. So, okay, cool. So then enters the chat entrepreneurship, right? Which is one of the ideas that you've had,
Yes.
right? But it was sort of on the back burner, waiting to be ready.
Hey,
Then you jump in, right?
Then I jump in.
And I would assume that there were a number of options on the table in terms of how you were what kind of business you were going to start.
No.
Okay.
Actually, I lied.
Okay.
You're right. Yeah. So, do I?
It doesn't need.
Okay. It's not a secret, and I don't think I'll go back into it in any case. But
Okay.
before I actually explored this idea, I almost bought a franchise of
Okay.
sherbet. Now I'm gonna sound silly because I forgot the name.
Oh,
but
I thought you said a franchise of sherbet. No. I was just gonna be like,
no.
What?
But you're onto something.
Yeah.
It's a franchise. It's these soft play franchises for kids. So Messi Play, Soft Play, and
Okay. So I don't have kids, so you're gonna have to go
dive a
little bit. So it's a place where kids get to go to play.
yes, and it's also
And
an
eat.
opportunity to no, they don't eat.
Oh, okay. Just to play.
They just play, and it's an opportunity for them to. It's for a specific age group. So
Okay.
usually, it goes up to, it depends on how you want to run it, right?
Yeah.
But can go up to like an age of 3 or 4, usually catering to those who aren't in school.
Okay.
Or if you are in school as well, it's fine. It's usually a weekend activity, but for the younger infants and so on, they would take their kids, depending on your budget, you can go 3 times a week, 4 times a week. And it's interactive activities, it's learning, it's play, and it's fun.
Okay.
And it's also a way to interact with other people your size,
Sure.
the kids exactly, and build social skills. And I know a lot of moms who send their nannies with their kids. To
You
do those
definitely want to
activities.
go back and do that. Huh?
You know what?
I can hear
It
from
is
the
no
way
secret that I'm
Okay.
passionate about children.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ever since I gave birth, I just have this sudden interest in wanting to do things for kids
Yeah,
because
sure.
I'm seeing it from I'm seeing the gap from being a mom. Like,
Yes.
oh, I wish there was this. Oh,
Okay.
I wish there was that.
Yeah.
So that didn't go well because the lady was just a terrible communicator. But
Okay.
possibly it was a blessing in disguise because the profit margins in that industry were also extremely low.
Yes.
It was more about you just enjoy working with kids. And so I thought, yeah, that was that. She was selling her business. She was in a hurry because she was leaving the country. You know
Got
the
you.
story. Fell through because she just lost communication and she was very disorganized about the whole thing that I started doubting. I was like, oh,
Obviously
girl.
you're gonna have your doubts and you'll be like,
girl.
maybe this is not the right
Yeah,
thing for
I
me.
was just like, never mind. Bye.
Cool. And then enters the chat.
And it enters, I was like,
This,
yes.
right?
Yes.
What's that? That's like liquid gold on someone's face.
Yes, no.
Then enters Aamirahs Beauty, right?
Yes.
Which is what? Describe Aamirahs Beauty to me. What does Aamirahs Beauty do? What's it all about?
So Amirah's Beauty is a spa, an idea which I have wanted to obviously implement for about 9 years now.
Okay.
And I've obviously had the opportunity to go ahead with it. A beauty spa that wants to cater to the middle class individual who is looking for aesthetic services, not all of them, but beauty and aesthetic services that at an affordable price.
Okay.
I know the industry is quite, I don't want to use the word, use the word flooded. My God. Please,
Every industry is flooded. Also, there's 62 million of us in the country, guys, really?
Yes.
And the biggest of that is kind of like the middle class, right?
Yes. So I found that, there's a gap in providing quality services, but at an affordable price
Okay.
for the majority.
Sure.
And I wanted to explore that, and I'm on that journey now
Okay.
of learning how to best do that. So we obviously provide services, and we plan to grow. In fact,
Okay, come with it.
we are working on a rebrand.
Just remember, you heard it here first. Huh?
Yeah, I don't want to share too much, as I'm still in the phase of planning and perfecting my vision for what I want this rebrand to look like. However, we currently offer nail services,
Okay.
hair removal services, facial services.
What's hair removal? Haircuts?
Hair removal would be waxing.
Oh, okay.
Would be
I didn't think that far.
yes, no.
Yeah?
Laser hair removal,
Yeah.
and threading.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So nails, hair removal services, and facial services.
Okay.
But at a very basic surface level.
Okay.
And yeah,
Okay. And then that's been now going for how long?
just under 2 years. So over a year. Just over a year. We are a year and 2 months.
Okay.
old. Yeah.
That's really your baby. I mean,
Oh my gosh, you're 2 months old.
Well done. Absolutely. Shout out for that, right?
Yeah, thank you.
And within that, I mean, I can't imagine. I just imagine that there's been difficult things. there's been
Disastrous.
easy- No, man. I mean, here you are. You're still going, right? You're looking at expanding services. You're looking at rebranding. So you're looking at all of these things. So I would imagine that there's obviously something there,
Yes.
right? And in there being something there, what's been your favorite part of it? Besides naming it after yourself.
Yo, guys. Yo. You know what? I didn't want to name this, and I say this to everyone, and my friends I know will vouch for me.
Yeah.
I reiterate this. I didn't want to name it after myself. So I registered the business in 2020 during COVID because I was planning to open at that point before lockdown, right?
Yes. And then
But
lockdown happens.
And then lockdown happens. So I couldn't implement it. It's like, okay, now it's clearly not the right time.
Yeah.
Fine. Nope, no issues. My spouse, obviously, really, what's the word? I want to say encourage is not the word, but encourage me to believe that my name is beautiful, unique, and it is something that, people might enjoy, I don't know, mentioning, reading, I don't know, but he liked the sound of my name, or he
Okay.
likes the sound of my name because he's still
biased.
alive,
He's biased.
as he should be.
Sure, fair.
What do you mean?
There we go.
But he obviously loves my name, and he thinks that the meaning behind it as well is quite beautiful, and what I wanted to achieve and that sort of thing. So he was like, "No, your name is beautiful. Go with that, and it's different, and so on and so forth." And he didn't lie.
Yeah.
But in that moment as well, I wasn't, I don't know, I was still on the fence, and I questioned it a lot. And I questioned and I challenged him about it. And, and eventually I was like, oh, okay, he believes in it. Surely, why would he lead me astray?
Yeah, great.
And I'm happy about it, just by the way.
Okay.
But I do have moments where
it grew on you.
it grew on me. But
like
I do sometimes have moments where I feel like, I wish I could have not put my face in,
What do you
face in
mean?
the brand, because now I feel like I don't know.
But is that not an extension of you?
It is an extension.
Yes,
of
because
me.
as you said, it's stuff that you generally just like as an
Imposter
individual.
syndrome. Imposter syndrome.
Okay.
So it's like you want to duck. Kancane.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You
Ungaveli.
understand?
Okay.
And I know some people will not believe it, and because you think, a person, loud, yeah, how can you?
Yeah.
But trust me, I can.
Okay,
I
yeah,
can
sure.
be shy. I can have imposter syndrome.
No, absolutely.
So that's a real thing for me, and I'm very aware of it. So I do have moments where I doubt myself. I'm like, should I have maybe used another name? But also thinking from a business
Yeah.
aspect, like just in terms of when I expand, not if. When I expand
There we
and
go.
somebody wants to buy a franchise, you probably don't want to buy my name, a business that is named after me.
I could think of a few businesses named after people.
That you would buy?
that people buy.
Yeah. Like, give me an example.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Okay, what are the services that these businesses are offering?
Similar services to you, naturally.
Okay,
Right?
not a gentleman's lounge.
No, definitely not.
Okay, no, I'm playing. But again, then there's the what is it? There is the opinion that, but you could have built a really good brand with the name Aamirahs Beauty, and somebody still might want to buy into that.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it's a me problem. It's just me, and when my moments of when I'm serious in my imposter syndrome and the anxiety is kicking in, I'm just like
100%. But then there's moments, obviously, where you're just like, this is actually a great idea.
oh, plenty, many moments. Like I
Absolutely.
said, very
And that's what
happy,
counts.
no regrets. But and I won't go back. I won't change the name, even though I've put that out recently as a question. I'm like, should I change the name with the plans that I have going forward? And he was just like, no, why would you want to do that? Now you've worked on building a brand, even if it's not, I mean, it may not be where you want it to be, but there are people that recognize it. Yeah, people that recognize it. You don't want to now, that was his advice. Like, you don't want to now start them afresh with something brand new. And now they're familiar.
Okay.
And it might work, and, don't stress about that. He's like, trust me, don't stress about it.
100%. Those are kind of what become part of the smalls, right?
Yes.
We don't really care if what this place is called, as long as our nails look nice.
Exactly, and
as
the
long as
service
when
that's
we-
being delivered
Yes.
is what's being promised.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So yeah, I think very much times we tend to really sweat the smalls.
We do.
And I guess because they are important to us.
Yes.
But I think also business requires a business mind. It requires you sometimes to even step a little bit outside of yourself now to say, okay, cool. What's best for the business, or what's good for the business?
Yes.
And sometimes that goes against the other smaller little voices in your head that are like, yeah, no, but maybe it should be pink. Not, you know what I mean? Those things for me, I think they are at a very technical level, marketing level. Pink speaks to this and mauve speaks to this. And those are the things that sometimes take away from what we should be focusing on. And we spend so much time there. So very, very glad that you ended up going with that.
Yeah.
Because that also was one less problem.
Yeah.
Because being in the service industry as well, I'm just like, who wants to be in the service industry, guys?
I have the patience for it.
Because people are difficult.
Yeah, they are.
Or are they? Or is it
100
me?
Oh, no. People are difficult.
Okay.
People are difficult. People are nasty. People are unappreciative. People don't have good mannerisms. People are entitled, and to an extent, it's a thing, and that's okay. And I respect that, because you also, it's monies that are involved.
Absolutely.
But
Hard-earned money.
Hard-earned
in
monies.
most cases.
And I have the patience for it.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
I have the patience for it, so I don't overthink.
Correct.
That's the thing. I'm just like, what's a difficult client? This isn't my friend. Like, you can swear, fight at me. I will definitely be assertive and tell you to watch your tone, but I'm not necessarily entirely put off because of that, to now step away from the field because I'm afraid, what if people are not happy? I mean, yes, it is something that you think about, because you want to impress people, and it does hurt you, or it does affect you as well. But it's also an opportunity to grow and learn. So if the mistake or error was on your part or your fault as a business or a brand, that's the opportunity you have to improve on
100%.
whatever the complaint is, right? And you do the work, man. Somebody complains about something, you find out first what was happening, what was going wrong, whose fault it was, if there's somebody to take blame.
Okay.
And
Don't assume.
Don't assume, and then you
Okay.
apologize if need be, where necessary, and you do a service recovery. It's as simple as that. Look, no one is perfect in the service industry. No top anything in the service industry is ever making everyone happy. There's always someone that's going to say something.
Yes.
But you build the trust, and you build a relationship based on how you come back from negative experiences.
Okay. Yes.
And that's what also helps to gain, you retain your clients.
Yeah.
Is is showing interest in how are you now going to make up for this mishap? How are you going to do a service recovery to keep me interested in you? And you realize that people actually do understand that, you know what, you're not a perfect person. Like,
and we're all human beings, I
And
think,
we're
at
all
the
human
end of the
beings at the
day,
end of the
right?
day.
And I think maybe another thing is that you get to understand by understanding that you're not perfect, right? And sometimes you're not the ideal customer. I think pushing that over to people that walk through your door as well, to say that, hey man, I sometimes have a bad day. Maybe you do, maybe sometimes you don't. Push it over to someone else, but you don't know what's happening. What you can do is kind of try and find out, okay, cool, where are you? What's happening? This. And that definitely helps you. Please keep the word service recovery. I've never heard that before. Please keep that word because I want to come back to it, but I want to still kind of like speak to the client side of it, right? Okay. So client side of it, it's everyone. It's not only for ladies, right? It's everyone.
Yes, yeah. So we're not obviously focused on a particular gender.
Yep.
Although I do understand that the beauty industry tends to focus a lot on females, or rather, that's where a lot of the trends are. However, over the years, we also have noticed a trend that men are now actually going into self-care, which we do appreciate and we love for you guys, because guess what? Your skin is like me having skin.
Correct.
Now we are keza, nam keza.
Your skin is skin.
Your skin is skin.
Fair. I think that's a very nice way to put it, right?
Yeah, like your nails are nails.
Yes.
Now your teeth are teeth. You brush,
Correct.
you brush. I brush, you brush.
Yes.
You get?
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's now that there's certain things as well that we are starting to kind of catch up on. So when I think about it, like once we start speaking like your skin is skin, it's like women nowadays and finding women in the gym, finding women lifting weights.
Hey,
because
you
your
see us?
muscles are muscles.
Thank you.
Just like guys. So predominantly it was guys in the gym. Now it's a mixture. All of us are in the gym because we're a lot more similar than not. Yeah, obvious. Hey, this is running in the foot, right? So in having said that, then I'm gonna ask a question that says, who's more difficult?
You.
Who's harder to please?
I will put this to the viewers. Put it on a poll.
No, you.
Let them answer themselves now. The jokes write themselves.
No. Remember, you're the big boss, right? You're the owner. You know. You've dealt with a lot of people. You've dealt with a lot of clients that walk through your door. And you don't have to name names. I'm just like, in your opinion, who do you think is harder to please?
Definitely females.
Because they know what they want?
Because they don't know what they want.
Okay.
Females are a little bit... Hey, uzon correct is not my mother tongue.
It's fine.
Indecisive or undecisive?
Indecisive,
but
yeah.
I don't know what's the word. Indecisive. Which one was it? What did you say? Undecisive?
Indecisive.
Indecisive,
yeah.
which one?
Okay.
But yeah, they're a little bit indecisive.
Yeah.
Yeah, indecisive.
Yeah.
So they tend to be a little bit more challenging. That isn't always the case though.
Okay.
And I'm also yo guys, please. But I'm saying this based on my experience.
Okay. Sure. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about
I'm talking
your
about my experience, not because I'm right and I'm not making an opinion based on statistics. Now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about my personal experience in my establishment.
Which is fair.
And yeah, it's a fair and it's an honest one.
Yeah.
Definitely females, I find they don't know what.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's okay to not know what you want. I think it's just frustrating if you're unable to admit it to yourself first.
Yeah, okay.
Because then if you can't admit it to yourself, you can't communicate it.
Correct. And then you're expected to hit a target that's moving. So which makes it all the more difficult for everyone, right?
Yes.
So guys, know I want here and I want 3 dots here, or I want clear color, or I want this. They tend to be more clear.
Men are a little bit more precise. And it could be because they also don't have many options in terms of I don't know, things to do or
Makes
get
sense.
done. You get.
So if
that
the
can
fewer
also
things
pose,
to choose from,
yeah,
therefore.
that might add a bit of confusion. So here, see, I'm on your side, lady. Come now, I'm a girl.
Okay, no, that's fine. And I think it's just, as I said, for me, it's just a question.
Yeah.
For me, as a point of interest, I
Yes.
think more than anything else that, it would actually be interesting to kind of find out what that kind of thing is. But then your clientele is still predominantly female.
Yes.
Okay.
Currently.
Perfect. Okay, 100%. I know, I'm also part of your clientele, right?
Yes, you
because
are.
I've been in there, buff and shine.
And
I don't
thank
know,
you
I
so much
haven't-
for your support.
You know what it is. Who supports more? Do friends support as much? Have your friends supported you as much as you thought they would?
Okay, can I answer you but without answering you?
Sure. It's a contentious issue, so I totally get it.
No. Oh, I'm happy we can go controversial all the way to the moon. Okay? All the way to wherever.
Yeah.
And we'll come back. But I want to answer you, but I'm not going to answer you.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say this, and I don't know, maybe I have a strong feeling about it, and I think I want to share it with people. This thing, always see, when you start a business and the expectation that your friends are the people that must support you for it to survive.
Hey,
Get it out of your head. Don't have an emotional attachment to
Amira.
your friends supporting you. Because guess what? A lot of the times you start a business, they're not even the target market. When you did your business plan, were you writing it for Zuko?
I love that.
No. Like, if I'm going to do fat freezing, you're not fat. Why am I mad? You understand? Okay, I'm just throwing in an example in the air also. But my point is, get that emotional element out. Because what happens is, you will then be so fixated on this idea, and it will actually frustrate you, and you'll start to see your friends differently. You're gonna feel disappointed for absolutely no reason. I have a friend who's an advocate. I have friends who are so many things, but I cannot pretend that I need a contract or I need a God knows whatever law she's practicing. I know what she does. Hi, mom, sing pretend I'm saying batong. Awa, guys, awa.
I like that a
But
lot.
if you have the capability, I think, if you have the capacity and the finance, the budget, the money, whatever, and you require the service, or you genuinely just want to show up and it's coming from you as the friend, the individual, I'd be like, I want to support Zuko. How can I show up for him in this business?
Yes.
Even though I know it's not entirely my interest, but I'm gonna show face maybe once or twice to show with say, hey man, proud of you, gonna back you up. But maybe I'll be that friend who doesn't always show up, unfortunately.
Yes.
But you can't. I don't want you to be mad about that. It's maybe where I'm at point in my life where I don't require this service, this product, this whatever it is. Or it
for a multitude of reasons.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, and that doesn't mean I don't support you fully.
Correct.
And I think people just need to get that idea out of their heads, guys.
I like that.
You will not have anything but now you're having small chats, meetings with people who are supporting you and talking about your friends. Also, if you should question yourself if you think your friends are not supporting you because they are like jealous, because I don't even want to go that far throwing words like that. Then those are not your friends. Go do self-introspection and go choose better new friends, because look, it's not too late to start new friendships and build new connections. But don't take it personal. It's not personal.
Yeah.
It's not personal.
This is business.
The brand is for me now.
Yeah.
Do you get?
Yeah.
And I also want loyal customers.
Correct. A return customer, because it's I'm
I
sorry,
want
you
loyal
seem riled
customers
up now.
because I don't want people feeling pressured.
Yes.
And I say it. I'm like, don't feel pressured. And I say, and our friends have different personalities.
Yeah.
Like I have 10 friends, for example. I'm throwing a number.
Yeah.
I have 10 friends. They all have different personalities.
Correct.
It doesn't make this one a better friend than that.
And they've all got different needs.
They
right?
have different needs.
And they've all got different, like, Because another one doesn't afford your services.
We've already established Guti, there's no money in this country, in this economy, in whatever, in the jobs. Everybody's crying. Now you want to add. You want to add.
Yeah.
Assumingly that you talk to your friends.
Yeah.
I don't know at which point it is healthy or safe to feel touched or get touched that your friends are not supporting you. But I haven't reached that point.
Okay.
I haven't reached that point.
I think you passed that point once you started thinking the way you're thinking and behaving in a way that says, hey man, I think the thing that jumps out at me is saying, sometimes your friends are not your target audience.
Yeah, no. And
that's very important to remember.
Yeah.
And I think once you can get to that point, all the other blocks then tend to fall into place. Then you start to understand, okay. Actually,
yes, and instead of taking it personally.
I've never seen so-and-so wearing a cap. So now I'm selling caps, so I can't expect him to buy one. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you. I'm so glad you understand.
I know I do. I absolutely get it. I think there's a few things in what you've said that have clicked to me. I think I was thinking about it on a more broader scale and just being like, no. But the way you put it, I'm not even going to repeat it because it's just perfect. Exactly the way you put it, right? I think that's definitely worth a rewind and a kind of listening back on that. And I think it will solve a lot of your problems. It will solve a lot of your stresses. It will solve a lot of your other dark thoughts that creep up on you every now and again when you're just like, ay man, so-and-so's got a loyalty card here that I put aside for them, but it's not been stamped in 6 months. Which is fine, it happens. It's okay. Focus on your focus, and I think everything else will kind of flow from there.
Yes.
I think moving into also, why does time move so quickly?
I know.
But so I said you must keep aside what did you call it? Service recovery. Right?
Yes.
I said keep aside service recovery for me, right? Because what I wanted to ask you about service recovery is that sounds schoolish. It sounds learned.
What do you mean schoolish?
It sounds like you learned education wise. So that brings me to the point where I'm saying, fine, you studied. Did you study this? Study for this?
Oh, no. So I'm a work in progress with that. So
100%.
Yes.
So yes, you're trying to upskill yourself now in that sense. But on the business side, did you then, what do you do or what have you done on the business side now to kind of get in line with or get abreast in terms of, okay, cool, when this happens, then there's such a thing called service recovery. Do you know what I mean? To understand those terms, because for me, I feel like those are service industry related terms.
Okay, jargon.
Yes, correct. Which for me sounds like you could have learned it somewhere. Or
I could have learned service recovery somewhere.
Yes, correct.
Oh,
so the terms, how to run a business, that's essentially
Yeah.
where I'm going. How to
Okay.
run a service business.
Okay. No. So I'm no expert.
Sure. I mean, none
But
of us are.
I'm packaging the word service recovery as, so I don't know if I'm understanding you, but I'm going to explain what
sure.
I meant by it.
Sorry, now I talk a lot. That's the problem.
Ne?
But I'm listening.
Am I elaborating on what I meant, service recovery and how I implement that in my business?
So I'm moving more like if someone is a plumber,
Okay.
right? They will have gone to school to go and learn plumbing,
Okay.
right? Now you are in the service industry,
Okay.
right? And there's obviously things that are service industry related
Yeah.
that you would need to know. Information generally.
Yeah.
How to deal with difficult customers, how to do
yeah.
your books, marketing, all of these
Oh,
things.
yeah. No one's going to teach you that.
Okay?
You have to experience
Pay
it.
as
And
you go.
that's where you learn, when
Okay.
you experience it.
Okay.
It's in the moment because service is very, a lot of the things are very sudden.
Okay.
You don't know how things are going to turn out.
Yeah.
It's a service that is being offered. It's not black and white.
Correct. A small part of it is
We can't go draft this thing and come back
Yes.
and fix it for you and we can do a back and forth. So essentially when I throw in the terms of service recovery, it is that back and forth. But you get one opportunity to rectify that. because of the nature of the industry, the business, the service industry. You usually get, if you're lucky, you get that one opportunity. Otherwise, you lose the client for good.
Correct.
And that
but then you also learn from that, right?
100%.
Because now you don't only learning is not only necessarily what to do, it's also what not
to do. Yes,
Very important.
Yes. So, a lot of that is in the moment.
And self-taught, taught through clients.
100%.
And
That's
maybe
what I'm saying.
YouTube, maybe a mentor,
Yes. Maybe a course here and there. Not Udemy, Grasha Machel.
Okay, cool. Fair. That coupled with that, so that's kind of like the soft skills side of it. Then there's obviously the hard skill side of it, which is the actual work that is done.
Yes.
And all the research
And
that needs to go
perfecting,
into do
yes.
that. Because that, I think, is what speaks the most to your customer and to your bottom line. So, I think that kind of, it's bringing us towards the end.
Is it the end?
Yeah, it's bringing us towards the end. And so, one final question, like, so, are we expecting a Porsche soon? Are we expecting you on form soon? How's the money, boy?
Soon.
Okay.
Because
so
what is
going
soon?
well.
No, what is soon?
So I give up
I'm
peace.
reiterating, what is soon?
I don't know.
Oh, many moments of giving up, 100%. Also, I think this journey is going to try to kill you first before anything.
Okay.
But you literally, I don't know what's been carrying me, because it's not the money. I haven't seen it yet, but it's coming.
What has been carrying you?
What has been carrying me? I've been carried by my patience. I have been carried by the plan that I have and my goal to stick to the plan.
Okay.
I am being carried by the discipline to continue with what I've committed to, because I've made the commitment to say, this is going to work, it has to work.
100%.
But at a big point, also understanding, look, and taking the wins that we label as losses, because a loss is still a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
So if you take it well, then it's a win.
Yeah.
Right? So having that at the back of my head to say, Wutsi, there's a lot to take home for me, and there's a lot that I'm taking home, and just pushing through, man. There's a lot of work that I need to do.
Yeah.
And because I'm in the learning phase, I'm going through that process, and I also have to remind myself, and I do that it's not going to be easy. These years aren't going to be the easy years, but these are the years that are important, because these are the years of me having to build a brand that is
100%.
repeatable. So I have to make all the mistakes now, because
go.
I can't make the mistakes at 15 years later.
Yes, correct.
So I'd rather do it now and be a laughing stock, if so be it, which I am okay with, because I'm, again, it's about me. I'm fulfilling myself, and working towards something. So yeah, man, that's what's been carrying me.
Shout out, massive shout out,
That's what's
man.
been carrying me.
And I think more than anything else, wow. More than anything else, I think we as normal mortal human beings,
Who's normal?
us people who are like not necessarily like entrepreneurs or doing that full time, wait for it, doing it full time, right? Guys who've stepped out on a limb and said, this is how I'm going to create an income, right? So I mean it in that sense. Really, like, we look at you guys and we just like, guys, massive shout out. So from us to you, us as sibling rivalry, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We've learned a lot. And yeah, as I say, it always seems so short. But in having said that, anyways, we are going to leave the details in the description for Aamirah's business. Aamirah's Beauty. And you guys can go ahead, click on those links and have a look at exactly what she does. And should it speak to you, should it speak to someone close to you, maybe buy them a voucher, do something, and support the business.
Yes.
But outside of that, thank you so very much for making time for us.
Thank you for having me.
We really enjoyed speaking to you.
always been wanting to say that.
Last question before I go.
Oh, Lord.
Rewind to when, just before you started the business. Would you do it over again?
Yes.
Okay, fair, done. That's it.
100%. What do you mean? What
Glad
do
to
you
hear
mean?
it. Glad to hear it.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. So rock on. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep strong. There's really people that are behind you, really people that are looking at you, taking inspiration and drawing inspiration from that. And it's a massive thing that you're doing. Keep juggling, keep balancing, keep learning. And I think, that just means one thing, that it's only a matter of time.
Yes.
And everything will go exactly as you want it.
Yes.
Cool. So thank you so much for joining us, guys. We've got the woman, the legend, Amira with us. And we'll see you on the next episode. Don't forget, should you want to be featured here, send us an email at info@connectabiz.co.za. Get in touch with us, and then we can definitely chat about how we can get you on here so that you can come on and also come and market your business. I think something that I forgot to mention in the beginning as well, guys. I've decided that in these segments, I'm going to try as much as I can to wear local clothing. I will speak about this at some other stage, but well done. Machita Ase Ikyan. Thank you so much, guys. Delivery was great. Everything was good. So thank you, guys. Shout out to you. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Cheers from us.